Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to continue working on part 3 of this house build. Let's get started. So in the previous video, we were able to add in the stairs and some furniture, but I would like to change this design a little bit. So first, I want to pull this out. So I want to pull it out around 500 from there. So I'm just estimating 500 from here. And I want to pull this down. It's because I want the design to look different. So I'm going to move this. So before we did this before, this one is 1000, right? We have enough space here to be comfortable. So I just want to change this and move this one back like this. So now I'm gonna pull this out. So this is still 500, around 500. Something like that. And this one, I just want to pull it out. So just pull it back um, from the C grid. And now just close it off like that. So it will look nicer. And then we're gonna do something later on. So this design will look like this now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly add the curtain wall like this, and then the cut geometry. And I just want to see it in 3D and pull it up like this and pull it down a little bit. So it looks nicer now. And then we're gonna deal with that later on. So now, on this video, I want to concentrate on um, here in the kitchen. I want to create the kitchen. So right now, I want to do a section. So a building section. And then from this section, we will create um, the kitchen. So you can double check here or double click here, or you could go to the section area and double click here. So either way, you could go to the section. So now that you're in section, you can see that this is our wing wall. And then now we could add in more information here. So in the kitchen, unlike before that I just put 2D element, here I want to put some of the cabinets and cupboards. So I want you to click on architecture and then drop down the comment on component and then click on model in place. And then here we're gonna create a generic model and then okay. And then what I want you to do is go back to level 1. It's because we're gonna create it from the level 1. So I'm gonna set it. I'm going to leave it at level 1. Press OK. And then now I'm gonna create an extrusion. So click on rectangle and let's create an extrusion like so. So I'm just leaving some space for the um, fridge. So here it's around 800. So this one I'm gonna put 700. It's because this is the base of the cabinet. And then for the width, let's do it around 3500. And then this is will be the double um, fridge. So this is 700 by 3500. Click finish and then go back to section, and then here you could estimate the height of the cabinet. So here I'm just gonna put it around, probably around, I could click here 100. So just 100 and then click finish. Click it again. Um, Edit type. I forgot to set materials. So here I'm just gonna click on laminate ivory and then go back to level 1, and then we can actually create another extrusion. So click another extrusion and then click on rectangle, and then here we're just gonna go over 800 and with the same length. So here I'm gonna put 3500, and then here I'm gonna set it to 800. And then now go back to level or section 1, but before that you could click here and then set the materials again. Let's leave it to laminate white, and then go to section, double click there. Now you could extend this and pull this back a little. Let's align this. So I'm gonna align it from the base, and then here we're gonna put this one, the height. So I'm gonna use my dimension. So this is too tall, so now I'm gonna pull this down. So it's around 930 will be good, or let's put it at 800. I think that will be enough. So 800 will be good. That's our typicals, or around 32 inches. So we could click finish again, or we could create the top, but let's click finish first. So now let's go back to level 1, and then let's go and create another model in place, extrusion. So this one will have a different material, so it's better we create a new one. So here I'm gonna click extrusion again, click this rectangle, and this one will fit the other, so 800 by 3500. So that will be enough. And then now what we're gonna do is we're going to go to section again, click finish here, and then once we click finish, let's set the materials first. So stone, and then let's use this blue stone for now. Click apply, okay, and then now we could extrude it like that. This is around 20, should be 25 millimeters. So let's just do it like that. It's around 1 inches. So let's estimate it like that. So I'm just pulling it down a little bit more, and I think that's good enough. Click finish, and then we're good. Um, and then now what we could do is we could put in some cabinets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click architecture model in place again, and then here we could add in another generic model. And then now we're gonna set this one. So extrusion, and then pick a plane. We're gonna pick this plane. So now it will be in front of this cabinet or this frame, and then now we could create our cabinet 3. And then now this will be extruded more. So now for the top, we're gonna move it a little bit. So now we created this. We will now then um, set our midpoint, and then the midpoint of this, if we could see, let's check this. So 1750. So now it's gonna be 875. So we could use this offset 875 here and here. And then now we're gonna use this again. We're going to offset this around 10. So now we have offset this like that. Delete the one in the middle. So that's our midpoint. We just need to delete that. And then now we could use split element, so SL. So you need to add split element on this. And then after that, we could use TR, trim and extend. Okay. So once that's done, set the materials first. Let's change this to the same one. Or let's put it soft lumber first, and we could set a proper materials there. But probably the frame as well would be like that. So now we could go to level 1 and change this. Obviously this is too much, so probably 25. So 25 extrusion, click finish, and then here this is the one at the top. We could just extend it a little bit so that it's flush a little bit like that, or not flush at all. If we check it from our camera view, you can see that it looks nicer. So let's go to level 1 and look it from there. So it looks good. It looks proper. We have those vents there, and you can see that we have our kick plate. And if we see it shaded or consistent color, you can see that. So next thing we do is we just need to add in the sink, and then we will need to add the stove or the cook hardware. And then obviously we have our fridge on the side, and we could add in our handle. It's also best to add in backsplash so that it looks nice. So that's a different materials again, and then our cupboards. So next, we're going to create um, something for the fridge. I want it to be encased, so we could use section again. So I want it to be encased like this, and usually it's bigger. So now let's go back to architecture and then component and then model in place. It's another generic model, and let's leave it for 4. And then it's going to be extrusion. Pick a plane. We're going to pick this wall. And then here we're going to use rectangle first. So rectangle all the way to the top, like that. And then here I'm going to add another rectangle. It will create an error. So, but don't worry about that. And then SL, that's the split element. We could delete this first actually, and then SL again. And then after that, we could TR, trim and extend. So now we could click finish and then change the materials for this. We could use rigid insulation for now. I want this to have a different look or finish, and then click finish again. Go to level 1 so that we could extrude it more, and most of the time it's bigger than this one. Now we could do the cupboard. So again, let's go back to section again. So now that we have the encase one here, let's go section and then create a model in place again. It's going to be another generic model. And click extrusion. Pick a plane. We're going to set this plane to this plane again. And we're going to create our, like that. I'm just estimating this. So this is around 160 from the top, but let's move it a little bit more. So we're around 180 from the bottom, or 1800 from the bottom. This will be around, yeah, let's leave it at 750 so that it's aligned like so right here. And then click finish. And then change the materials. Let's use plastic and click finish and go to level 1 to extrude it more. So that's the cupboard, and then we're gonna add the cabinets. So this one I extruded a little bit, maybe half of, more than half of the 800. And then after that, let's, so a little bit more, and then after that, let's add in the cabinet. Same process, section again, model in place, generic model, and then you will need to set it first. So click extrusion, pick a plane. This will be in front of the frame. Same idea, rectangle. And then after that, click on line so that you could get the midpoint. And this is same thing with this. This is around 870. So click on the pick line. This will be 870 midpoint. And then I'll pick this again and then 10. And then you need to zoom it a little bit so that you can see where you're placing it. After that, make sure to delete the one in the middle. And then SL, split element. And then after that, TR, trim and extend. Okay. So now that everything is done, you need to click finish. And we have a problem here. It's saying that we haven't finished. So click finish, set the material first. This will be plastic. And then extrusion is 10. And then now we could see and double check it from level 1 that we created this. Now if we check our 3D view number 2, you can see that we have everything like that. So before that, let's add in something at the top so that it's flush all the way to the top. So now go back to section again and then click on model in place, generic model, and then extrusion. Pick a plane, it will be the wall, and then click rectangle, and then now we just need to change this material. So let's use roofing. So I'm picking the materials randomly, so you don't need to do that, but I want to make sure that this is all different so that once I've finalized the material, I could change it more. So now let's look at it at 3D. And this one, we just need to move it like that. We can move it a little bit more so it looks nicer. Okay. We could actually move it more and then we could add spotlight below so it looks nicer, or a strip of light. Yes, we could do that. And now it looks nicer here. Let's look at it at 3D. And we could finalize this later on once we added, because we will need to create a void for those sink. So we could finalize it later on. So let's finish here for now and continue on the next video. Thank you for watching and I hope you liked the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below.